Welcome back. This is Nerd Dad on episode 18 of our Factorio playthrough. The last time we left off, we had blueprinted in some rail lines, and you can see now that we've actually got these laid out. I did a little bit of cleanup through here. I didn't like the way it looked, so I actually did a bit of rerouting of the tracks and made it just look a little bit cleaner. I often find that I do that. Even though I like to lay the blueprints out, it gives me a good idea where things are. Sometimes I'll go through and just tidy it up a bit. We've actually now got some stops that are named, and I actually have some trains here. And the only ones that actually is transporting right now is this one. In fact, he's on manual right now. We're just going to put him back to automatic, let him go get what little plastic he's going to pick up. But the rest of these aren't presently scheduled for the obvious reason is that we don't actually have stations at the other end. So if we actually go and look at our track here and follow it all the way down, it'll be a quick blur on your screen, I'm sure. And we come down to the other end, and we've got them laid in, but we haven't really finished them up yet. And, well, we've got the sulfuric ready to go. It's waiting for plate. We just got to kind of get this finished up, and we just haven't done that yet. I'm not in a real hurry for it. We don't need the sulfuric until we get batteries, but we did want the plastic up and running. You can see that it's just kind of offloading what's there. And we honestly aren't going to get any more of this until we get some blue science packs, and we learn our advanced oil processing. Once we do that, we're going to be able to open up these tanks and feed the different oils down. So we'll be able to convert the heavy into the light into petroleum. That'll kick up our plastics. Now, if we find that we don't quite have enough plastic, all we do need to do is add a tank to each of these. It'll increase the petroleum because, again, the refineries will start to burn. But we're not worried about that right now. What we wanted to do is get our red circuits built. And so we're going to lay that out right now. We're going to start figuring out where that's going to go. You can see I've put a new road, north-south, sort of right here. So now we've got this nice big east-west road up the north here, which is going to run right into our trains. So I'm sort of looking at that going, great, what are we going to do with that? Making me wonder, should I move it up just a little? So we might have to think about that. But I wanted to get another point where we could cross our bus, and I didn't want to build anything in the middle. So I often like to put one right through the middle of it. Just kind of like this, so you got another access point. And as long as we lay it out early enough, not a problem. So we're going to start our red circuits right here. We're going to have a big chunk of them in here. And I think we've got more than ample room now. With our big expansion here, we shouldn't have any problems at all. I see we've got some research to learn. So I'd like us to start pressing towards robotics. I've been slowly picking up the logistical slots and grabbing those. In fact, I just recently went back to laser speed, and we're working on that a bit. I was actually just thinking, oh, it's a blue. So yeah, we'll just keep going after the lasers, because at some point here we're going to need to upgrade our guns along the wall, so we'll do that. So let's get in here and get these red circuits laid out. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here and we're going to grab one of these banks that we have already set up for the green circuits. We probably have this blueprint already, but I'm just going to grab another one. And we're going to have to update it because I don't want these wooden power poles, but I'm just going to kind of drop one down. I mean, it's easy enough for us to rebuild it, but just going to kind of throw it down and just go, yeah, okay, that's about right. It's really fast for us to do. And we want to give ourselves a little bit of space in here. In fact, we're going to give ourselves quite a bit of space. And the reason for that is we're going to want an additional line of assembly machines building just copper wire. And that should be more than ample. So there's a start. Not a great one, but it's a start. We're just going to clean out all these wooden power poles here. Just get rid of them. And basically we've got a bit of a feel for what that's going to look like. Now, one thing that I do think sometimes is that you have the option in here to go all blue factories. Frankly, I don't really find it a problem using the assembly machine ones. I don't find that it really slows up the process all that much. Typically, I'm waiting for plastics and stuff anyways. If we find it's a problem, we can always upgrade. So we're just going to lay these assembly machine ones out, and we'll just drop them in here. Good place to start. And as I said, what we're going to want is we're actually going to want another bank right here, probably with its own line of copper. Right about here. So we're just going to drop in another line right there. And we're just going to do a bunch of fill in here really quickly. Just kind of fill all this in. And then we'll get some power poles in there. Let's just actually do these guys at the same time. And this will get us our copper wire that we're going to want for our red circuits, because they need the plastic. and the green circuits and copper wire. So we're just going to kind of get all that once. And you know what? Let's just use blues all the way across the board here. Let's upgrade the yellows here. So we're upgrading the power poles and the blues at the back end there. So we've got all this laid out. That's looking really good. We can grab these, just pull this down, and we can quickly run up some transport belt. I just started going, oh my goodness, did I not bring enough? I think we've got enough here. And we can just kind of run a couple lines here. Did I really just do that? I really just did that, didn't I? I really just put my offshoot right into my inshoot. Oh, for whatever, my brain was registering that as 2 slots. Oh boy. All right. Well, if you're not used to me making mistakes, you're watching the wrong channel. Pretty well. I mean, that's got to be part of the value of the entertainment. This guy goofed again. We'll just kind of get this fixed up. Doop, doop, doop. I likely could have pulled off of this line, but the reason why I chose not to is because I'm probably going to have another hole set up here. So I don't think I want to have, I'd have 12 and then I'd have 24 assembly machines pulling off for copper wire, and I don't think I want that on one line. So I'm thinking maybe we won't do that, and that was really dumb. So we'll just fix that. Alright, let's get in some lights right here. I feel like I've done something else wrong. I'm just kind of looking at going, there's something else. Oh, it's got the yellow line there. We'll get rid of that. That's why it's looking goofy. Okay, and we'll just run another red line through here. This one doesn't need to be that way. It was just from where we got it from. And that'll come out this way like this. And actually that's an out, so it'll look something like this. And this one will be an in, so it needs to start down lower. Okay, now we're getting there. And now we've got those all being copper. All we need now is to quickly fill in. What we don't have is power lines, so we'll just grab those. That is wrong. You know what? That light is in the wrong place, so we're going to upgrade that as well. That does not conform to our new layouts, so we're going to move those lights in as well. We're just going to grab those, get it back to where we want it. You must conform. We will just, whoops, not there. There. Yeah, I really feel like I'm struggling. Okay, so we got that one. We're going to prop one right there. We're getting close to those robots, so pretty soon we're just going to be able to drop these down and kind of walk away. Yeah, 2 lights there. And that's got everything except for this end one. I think that's it. Everything looks like it's got a friend. Okay, so I brought down the bus a little bit. I brought it down, but the next part we're going to want is we're also going to want to throw the blue assembly machines right here, and this is the one I'm going to goof up. In fact, I got those blues in the wrong place. I really goofed this. I didn't want that row, so that's okay. Like I said, we've got to get it figured out. We'll get it figured out. Okay, we're going to want... Come on, where's the blues gone? That's not it. Don't play that game. 1, 2. Okay, so that's going to be our red circuits right there. And this line coming in here will be plastics and copper line. So, wow. You know, there are days. And there are days. Okay, so we didn't really need to blueprint that in, but oh, we did. I'm just trying to get in the habit of it for trying to go for that achievement, so I've really been pressing myself. Make sure you lay out a blueprint. Kind of getting myself in that frame of mind. Okay, let's grab this real quickly. One there, one there. Let's throw another light in there. I'm trying to get lots of lighting in here so we're not stressing on it. And this will be our line in right here. Okay, so now that we've got that, and we know that this is going to be a red circuit, it's got everything it needs. So it's going to pull its green from there, and it's going to pull a combined line that is going to be plastic and copper wire, which is going to come from here. So what we want to do now is we want to kind of just do a little bit more cut and paste of layouts. And so what we're going to do is we're going to grab this whole thing. The transportation belts are going to be... Well, they'll be okay. I was thinking they were going to be incorrect, but they're going to be close to what we want. In fact, they're going to be Except for maybe the feeding of the red, we might want it to go at the top, but we'll think about that. Oops, we've got a power line which we need to pull temporarily. Let's pull that out. And we're going to drop this in. I'm just trying to think about spacing here. If we have that there, it's going to be about there where we're going to want to build this. And I'm just looking at this. What I'm doing is I'm looking at this line over here and kind of going, you know, if we just went off the end of there, something like this, and went north-south on our other ones, we're about there. Okay, so that gives us lots of space, and probably too much space, to be honest. But we're not going to be stressing it from there. Okay, so now that we've got this, what we want to do is just, you know, what we didn't get was the output. So we're going to need to do that really quickly. Just do this, and then what we're going to do is we're going to grab another blueprint of this one right here like this. Probably don't need that transport belt because it's going to be incorrect anyways. And we're going to back it around on itself like that. And so we know the transport belts are goofed up. We acknowledge that. We say that's okay. And what we can actually do just for mapping this in, we take out the transport belts. And what we do then is just copy and paste this because it starts to come together for us. Okay, so we've got that. We're going to grab this, and there's another one of those. And then we're going to bring this one up here. I noticed that we don't have the blue inserters right there. So, whoop, I got the power pole there again. I'm going to have to bring that back online pretty quickly here. Where are you? Not that one. That's the one we want. No transport belts. And we'll just, you know, if we had to just put it one down, the power lines would reach. Okay, I'm going to scrap this one because it's easy enough to grab and clear these. So we're just going to do that so our power lines fit. And we'll just grab this one again. And that doesn't look like it's right. I'm going to do it differently then. Nope. Where's the one with everything? There it is. One with everything on it, please. Why are you not reaching across there? That's where you need to go, right there. But that puts you... Oh, you're in the right place. Okay. I was eyeballing going, it didn't look like we had room for the transport belt, but we did. So we're just going to do a quick flip on there, and then we'll just wipe that one out. Okay, so we got that. We can trash that one. Now what we've got is we've got a great big block of reds. That's lovely because what does that give us? That gives us 12 and 12 is 24 red circuits being built. Once we get it all built, yeah, that's not close enough to what we want. And do we have any explosives left? Because we need them. We need more explosives. We're going to have to get some more explosives. I thought I had some on me, but I guess not. So what we're going to actually do is we're going to double this up. We're going to actually build this all again, except for we likely won't need to rebuild these copper wires. We might need one more bank down at the far end here, but we want to blow all this out. We're going to replace all this with just reds. We may not build them all right away, but what I often want to do with these is we go red circuits, and we'll do this and put an icon on it. I imagine which icon we would use would be the red circuit, and then we're going to do the exact same thing here. So it's like a double up of what we're planning on doing here. It's we're all in on red circuits because you always need lots of them. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is, now that we've got this all laid out, I can figure out where the plastic's going to go. And I also need to bring up this line here for this iron ore. So I'm going to just kind of grab this and say, okay, this is great. We got this iron ore coming in here. And we'll just bring it right over to this wall here, because that's going to be our road. And we'll bring it all the way down. And we're giving ourselves lots of space. And we'll just bring this right down to the bus, and we'll bring that and tie it in and get that train starting to load up that iron ore that we need. Now, we also know that if these lines here are coming in and they're bringing us copper wire, so this will be actually our offshoot here. We're going to have a line like this, and these two lines here need to hook together and then hook together with our plastic. So we might do something like, I don't know, we're just speculating at this point, but we might do something like this, where if a plastic line was to come in here, it would feed back in and then go down the middle and then split off where we need it, which would be in places like here. So we'd probably have something like this, and we'll probably do a jump. Maybe we'll give it a big jump. I don't think there's any reason not to. And then we'll do something like, and what I find with these ones, you can't just do one splitter because you need to carry it further down. So what you do is you do a sort of a staggered step. You kind of go, okay, I got one there, and actually let's go even further back. And I'm going to put another one there. And you keep your line kind of going forward, but you split off for what you want. So we'd go like this. So this guy's going to go right up in here. And that'll be where we take those for that plastic. And we got to remember this is a join line of plastic and copper wire. And that one would split off there. And that's going to be the first one we want. And frankly, we don't even need this first little one. We can actually sever that line right now because we only really want it to go down here. All we're going to start with is this little tiny bit down here. Now we are going to want our red to come off. And what we're going to do is we can either feed it back to the middle. Actually, we are going to want to feed it to the middle. Faux pod. This line we're going to want to have go back into the middle and come back the other way because we need to ship it over for our blue science packs. So this guy's going to be kind of, he's going to go counter to everybody else. Everybody else will probably go out the other way. This guy is going to need to feed our blue science packs. So we're going to just need to get a little bit of tunnel going on here. And the beauty of this is we can just now feed, I gotta be careful here, that's going to be a plastic line, so this will be the output of the red. So we're trying to remember in our brain here, and that's never a good thing. We know that we're going to have a plastic line coming down like this. And we're going to need some more line. And we know that what we're going to have is this line here is going to come up somewhere around here, and it's going to likely bank off that way, and I don't know where. I'm just going to slap in something there. In fact, who knows, maybe we bring it right across here. I'm thinking if we decide we want more engines up in here, maybe this isn't where we want it. We might want it like kind of on top of where an extra row would be. And I'm thinking we do the blues up here. So maybe instead of where we just put that, we drop it somewhere like, I don't know. Maybe just even in line with this, saying this is now the bus height, and we just do it there. All right, so I think we need to go and get a little bit more transport built. Get some power over here would be another great thing for us. We can easily do that. In fact, we could just do that right, I don't know, there. And now we got a little bit of power coming in and see things a little bit better. And I think we're coming together. We just need to hook a few things up here.
All right, let's go finish running this plastic line right now. We'll just get up here, drive the car up. We're going to put the part over here somewhere. And then we'll just come in here and just run you down like this. And just get you run right over to here.
That was a bit of a spike. Okay, so that is way less plastic than I thought we had. Probably because I chipped the power off. But, ow. I didn't know I'd taken it off that badly. So, just give me a second. I want to bring the power up this way, I think. And we just want to make more of a permanent line here, something like this. Okay, that's why we weren't getting plastic. I was like, look at that plastic line going, what has happened? Okay, now we're just going to hook up some of this stuff down here. I just want to make sure that we're going to get all sorts of insane stuff going on. Now, this should all work out pretty good. So let's figure this out. If we had this line coming in here, it's going to go up as far as possible to there. We'll bring it over here, there. Oh, no, we want that to go one more, don't we? If we can. And there. Beautiful. Okay, and we're just going to grab you like this. And a transport belt. There we go. Okay, so we should be starting to get some copper out, and that's just to go with our plastic. Now we need another copper line, so we can just mirror that one. Of course, we're not going to get anything because I haven't joined the other one up. So why don't we join both of these up at the same time. Just like that. And then we will basically do the same thing here. And maybe because we got two so close together here, we'll put an extra one in there and Hopefully we don't need it, but we can only hope and dream. Okay, we're going to need some iron ore for this one here, so this is just going to be one of these. This here be the easy stuff, just hooking it up. Okay, and we should start seeing some reds come out of here as soon as I make sure I get some power on the back end of this line here. So we've got kind of got it set up. Sometimes it feels like you're not getting anywhere, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh no, that just all came together, and there's our goodies. So there we go. We're kicking them out. I wouldn't say that it's going to be lot by any means. It's going to be, what are we getting? What's our timer on these things? We're getting every 6 seconds, so we're getting 10 per. So is that right? 10 per, so we should be getting 100 a minute. Does that make sense? Assuming that everything's always full, which that's a big assumption. I feel like that's wrong. I'm starting to question myself on all my math abilities lately. I'm sort of, what am I doing? It seems like everything seems to be, I'm off on it. Don't know why. I'm struggling with it. I don't know why. I usually just do it in my head and it's no problem. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're going to bring this one out like this, and we're just going to bounce it across like that, and it fits really nicely. Okay, so what we need to figure out how we're going to build blue science packs. Where's our blues? Okay, let's think about this for a second here. What we're going to want to have is we're going to want to have, I'm guessing 2 lines in, outside lines is the outbound. And I'm guessing for these blue science packs, it's all a 1-1-1, so it doesn't really matter what 2 lines we double up on. And I'm thinking, hey, the obvious thing is we've got these 2 lines that are sitting here side by side. What would be fantastic is we could just cross them and have them beautifully joined, but unfortunately it's not going to work that simply for us. We're going to have to give one of these a little bow and then slam them back together. But my concern is I want to make sure that we do that just maybe over here a bit. Because if we expand even, say, these engines for something else, and there's a possibility that we do red engines in here, I want to make sure we have lots of space for building the assembly machine. So I think what I want to do is something like this. Kind of throw this up like this. Actually, you know what? That's even better. I'm going to bring that around the top and then throw it up that way, and we'll be following this line up. I like that. Might regret it in an hour, but I like it right now. Okay, so let's do that, and then let's just commit and say, yep, that's what we're going to do. God, I hope it's right. It's just never know, right? And we'll come up here like this, and we will run this line down like that. And then we'll be having this line coming over here, just like this. And we will bring it up like that. What? You say we're already almost there for those blues? Yep, we are. They're actually pretty simple to put together once you get it. Once you kind of get the engines and get, it's the red, circuits. Once you get all that figured out, the rest of it's kind of peanuts. It really is. Once you realize that you're putting inserters on the same assembly machine, it's easy. Gee, sarcasm. Apparently, it's not that easy if I can't keep just getting it right. There we go. Get a bit more of those. I need to really get that kind of sorted out. Get it sorted. Okay, there we go. And there, and there. Let's get some lights in here. Let's just throw them on the inside line here. And finally, yes, we have a blue circuit and me trying to run into a wall. And what we're going to do is we're going to say these are going to come together. Something like that. Now we need the ability to feed this other side of this line. So what we're going to do is we're going to do something like this. And we're going to think about this. Think about it, son. We do that, I think. And that way, we can just go like this. And feed it in the side. And that'll give us our blues right into that right side of the line, and we'll be golden. Okay. Blue science packs, please. What are these things actually called? Science Pack 3. Oh, that's original. I like how, like you get military science pack. But you get science pack 1, science pack 2, and then you get like a productivity one, and then you get like another one. And yes, I'm carrying a bunch of science packs. I'm so smart. I have science packs in my pack. Yeah, okay, that's good. And that's gonna trickle out. You can see it's just gonna be like, because these guys, they take a little bit of time, I think. Yeah, it's 12 seconds, so we get 5 per. That's only 30 a minute. We could double this line up. You can see like this line is just sitting here. What I would want to watch is this red line. If anything's going to give us a problem, if we can see that starting to backlog, then we're good for an extra set here. What we're going to do right now is just kind of fake build it up. But the first thing we needed was advanced oil processing. So we got to get this, because this is what's going to open up the floodgates for our oil processing as a whole. So, well, let's open that up. I'm debating. I mean, I don't think I've ever run just on 6 of these. I think it's always 12. So what I think we'll do is we're obviously going to just at least pencil it in, right? Let's just do that. We like in our blueprints. He's such a nice young man. He loves his blueprints. What is he doing with them, though? The funny thing is I think I had exactly what I wanted, and I just refused to believe it. Just like that. Okay, so that will be the other side, and if we want to double that up, we might have space. I don't think we're going to need to, though. That should be more than ample. What we may find is things like this. The engines may not be able to keep up. The miners may not be able to keep up. The miners won't be able to keep up if I haven't put red inserters on the back end. Why did that happen? Alright, I was like, usually the miners can keep up. It's the engines that cause grief. What's the problem? The problem is I haven't got only 2 of the machines are going. Okay, well there goes 3 times the output on the miners. What we'll likely do is we'll probably put at least one of these online, and the thing is typically what you find is then you got to put more of these online to get the electric engines going. So we'll probably be working on that fairly quickly. Not too worried about it, to be honest. Okay, so we're doing really good here. All we got to do now is come down and finish up this nice little iron ore line we wanted to feed to this train. We're getting progress. Yeah, we'll have to chop out our wall here. Who said life was easy? And that can go right into there. Okay, so now we've got iron ore coming in. And let's just get on that track and run. Run, be free. And I don't think we have... Oh, we do have a sulfur plate drop. Oh, look at us. It's almost like we knew what we were doing. And don't let that fool you. Okay, so what we're going to do is this train is going to go to... well, it's going to... where are we? Where are we? Where are we? We are at sulfur plate drop. And we want inventory empty. We are then going to want to go to sulfur plate. Never mind. Oh, you dummy. We're going to want to go to sulfur plate pickup north, which is where we're actually sitting, and we want an item count of, let's say we're going to get 2,000 plates. I don't know. Let's make up a number and say that's a good number. 2,000. Okay. And then what we're going to say is we're going to go to sulfur plate drop, and we are going to wait until inventory is empty. Then we're going to go to, I believe it's oil drop main north wait, which is these 4 signals. If we look on the map on the right here, we got like 4 or 5 of them. I think it's 5. We're going to make it go there, and we're going to time pass for 0 seconds. And what that does is it just ensures that we go through that switch yard. So what we're saying is that every time a train basically comes back down this track, it can't just come flying in here and go to a station. It actually has to go through here and route through one of these stations. So that's how we ensure that if there is a backlog in here, they will always sit and wait. So even though we've told it to wait a second, if this isn't clear, there was another plate pickup here, then we would just have a train waiting at one of these stations. So that basically allows us to name all these exactly the same things, and they will pick the available slot to slide into. So it works pretty good. Okay, so we're not going to have exactly what we need. I'm guessing we don't have 2,000 plates in here. So what we can do is we can just force ourselves to plate drop north. And hang on, stop. I'm in map mode, you fool. I'm like, why am I not going with the train? I am going with the train, it's just I'm in map mode and it looks like we're sitting still. There are days, I think I said that. Okay, so here we come. Yes, our train works, which is great. We've got a few guns taking some damage along here, so we're going to want to keep our eyes on that. If we start getting too much damage, we're going to get some problems. We don't have any power here, though, so that's going to be something we're going to want to deal with. Just get a little bit of power in here. Not a big problem at this point. I don't really like connecting to the outside world. I like, because, you know, if we knock this wall out, then this just kind of, then we've got to do this anyways. So what we're going to do here is we're going to just kind of hook ourselves in here and say, okay, well, you know what? We need this at some point to connect to the whole system. And I'm just looking for a great big power pole that's going to live right in the middle here. That is plausible. So I'm going to say, okay, maybe that'll work. I'm just kind of eyeballing at this point, going like, is this going to come together? Will it work? It may change. But it's kind of ugly, but I kind of want to make sure that if I tear this down really quickly, like if I'm running by with bots, I don't accidentally wipe this out. Okay, so while this train's doing its thing here, because we don't have a car here, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it on manual for a second. I'm going to stop it. So we can see that this car can't pick up any plastic, and what we just finished getting was our advanced oil processing finishing. And that was why I actually wanted to come out here. It's great that we got this coming in, and it's great that we can do sulfur, but we can't do sulfur because we don't have petroleum. We don't have petroleum because we don't have blah, 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 and we follow it all the way back. Okay, what did we really want out of all this? Well, and please tell me I have pipe. We're actually going to convert all these now to, don't do it. Why are you giving me oil lines? Don't be like that. Yeah, I know why you're doing it. Oh, you little beast. It's piping it back through the machines on me. So just one sec. See, that one's clear. It was just for whatever reason that one I think was showing me pipes with oil in it. Okay, so we just got all those converted. Now they need some water. And that's what we want to do here. So we just want to kind of we're going to re-kick this whole process. This will allow us to get more petroleum. So if you haven't done this before, what happens is when you're using the basic oil processing, your products out are 30, 30, and 40 on petroleum. But when you go to the advanced, you're only getting 10 of the heavy. You get a lot less heavy, and you get a lot more petroleum, which is the stuff that you actually really want, the petroleum gas. So we're kind of doing a quick conversion to that, and that's going to help us get more petroleum gas. But then we're actually going to do a conversion process to push it even further downstream. Now, that will hinder us for things like lubricant. But we will take care of that with some logic on our circuits in a little bit here. So now that I've got this kind of reconnected, was I smart enough? Unlikely. As soon as you said, was he smart enough? The answer was probably no. We're just going to come in here like this and just, oh, come on. Die. 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 Okay, water. Okay, we've got water. So now you can see our gas industry kicked back up again because it's going, whoa, I can actually put some stuff out here for half a second. But it's not really going to go very far until we actually get the rest of this dealt with. So what we're going to do is we're going to very quickly slam the rest of this together. We're going to say now we want heavy oil cracking to light oil. So we're going to grab this and we're just going to go along here like this. And these are these ones where we've got to kind of keep going through this process of one pipe to two pipe, one pipe to two pipe. It's kind of arduous. It's great when you got robots to do it for you, but the issue is you typically don't get to robots until you've actually kind of gone through this process at least once, because you need things like plastic and red circuits to get to the robots. So it's sort of you can't get there until you're there. So you have to kind of usually go through this at least once or twice, just depending on what you're doing. Okay. And we're just going to throw another pipe in there like that. We are getting there. I know we're kind of running a little overtime here, so we're just going to try to quickly run this all together. I'm going to do a little bit of cleanup here at the end because there's some other things that I'm going to want to do here. I'm going to want to put a little bit of logic between these areas. but we're just going to kind of toss this together really quickly just to kind of get ourselves finished here. And then when we're offline, I'll quickly do some tidy up. So as we just did the heavy to light, we can now actually do the exact same thing here by going light to petroleum. So that's why we were waiting for that advanced oil processing. Typically I want to get that as fast as I can, otherwise you end up building lots of tanks and things, I find. Whereas this way I can quickly throw logic into place. I don't have to have all these tanks in there for holding lots of oil. I can kind of limit how much stuff I'm holding because I can keep converting it to petroleum and pushing it out as fast as I can build it. So we're gonna grab that one. Everything's working right there. Yes, yes, and yes. Like I said, I'll be rerouting some of this because typically what I like to do is I don't like this going straight into this pipe. I actually usually want it to go over to the tanks. It's not that it needs to, because it's based on backflowing and everything else. It's just I like it. It's a personal thing. It's not that it needs to be. It's just my head says you should actually have to flow it through the tanks. It's not true. It's just me. It's a nuance. Okay, we've got this one. We've got water again. And as long as we connected it right, we should be getting there. Very close. Now what we got to do is just put some pipe along the front here. I don't think we have enough. That allows all these machines now. They got no power, so we just got to throw some power in here on the pumps. Don't really need the pumps. You could just jump it straight in if you wanted to. I just like putting the pumps because I know eventually I'm going to put logic on these pumps, so I may as well get them in here now. And you can see we're starting to kick out plastic already. And that was even before we've actually connected this one. We haven't even got this one kind of up and running yet. It's just because the red is now bleeding into the little bit of yellow space left, and it's kind of going, yeehaw, I can do it for half of a second. But we're going to get that going right now. We're just going to kind of toss this in here right now, and then, like I said, we'll rewire it all up in just a few minutes while we're offline here, and just clean it up for the logic we like to have on there, and then we'll talk a little about that next time. Whoops, just need a little bit more straight pipe here, and you can see the petroleum coming out the front. Yeah, we may as well just run right to the end. We didn't do this one to the end. We'll do the same thing here. And there we go. So you can see that we've got it kind of in place. I actually like to have lights here. Once I get them up and running, I like to have lights on them saying, hey, yeah, I'm a thing now. I'm not just sitting here wasting space and looking pretty. Okay, so what do we got? Well, you'll start to notice that our petroleum will start to climb, which is great. You'll start to notice lots of plastic pouring out. You'll notice our sulfur will be full. And what we will be finding, assuming I've got it done correctly, which is not true at the moment. What am I missing? Oh my goodness me. What I'm missing is intelligence. Made a bit of a goof here. Okay, so I'm going to have to do a little bit. I misaligned. I, for whatever reason, was thinking red inserter, and we're actually trying to insert bullets into our sulfur. So, that's okay. Everything is fixable. We'll just do this and put two of these together like this. Put two together like this. We'll throw one here, and we should be able to just hop this pipe down. Not what we were looking for. We can just claim absolute abject failure there. Oh, this one's going to be a bit of a dog. We'll just do it that way, and I'll just put this pipe on the end like that, and we'll fix it up. So I won't say that that was as we planned it. We will say, oops, we're fixing something. I mean, I could fix it just by pulling this all down one, but this was the faster way of fixing it, and frankly, it doesn't really matter to me that much that I'm doing it this way. I've done it this way before on purpose. So it's good enough. I'm glad with it. That little bit of sulfur plant will probably keep us going for most of the game. We're going to have it piping everywhere. In fact, we haven't got the pipe going here yet. We're going to eventually ship this down to our uranium, but right now it's just sitting there, so we're only actually filling up. No tanks. I don't even think, do we have the tanks in place? Oh, we have the tanks in place. So this is another place I'm going to want some logic. I'm going to put some logic on here. These guys are going to start filling up. It's got a K in there. So everything's kind of working hard now. We got a petroleum gas producing plastic. It's producing basically sulfuric gas because it's through the sulfur. If we wanted explosives, oh, speaking of explosives, I think we said we wanted some of those. So let's grab some while we're here, and then we'll finish building cliff explosives when we're kind of down the other way. Beautiful. So I think this has been pretty good, this episode. We've actually covered... we've actually got our oil upgraded, which is massive. I'm going to want to get the lubricant online here, so this will be our lubricant here. So I'll probably throw that together Get that all finished up for us. It's not a big deal. It's very similar. It's the same thing as this. We're just going to start putting some logic on this. I might even throw some lighting on here with respect to how full these tanks are. I mean, you can just mouse over them, but sometimes it's neat just to look down and see lights showing what everything is. So maybe we'll throw a little bit of that on here this time and start playing with that a bit. And down the other end, if we kind of blur down the map, we look down the other end, we've actually, we need a little bit of a radar dish there. But when we look at our big, our main bus area now, we've got this great red circuit area that we're starting to allot size to. Once we get this kind of doubled up, it'll look really good. We'll have our blue circuits probably down in here. We're starting to get a space for our military here. It's all starting to come together. I think we should have robots fairly quickly at this point. If we look inside of our pack here, I think we've got the tech for most of it. I think we're kind of just waiting to build a few things at this point. So it's like, I think, can we even build roboports at this point? Yeah, we could build roboports. We can build probably the packs. We can build the electric engines. Frankly, that's taking us really quickly towards the yellow science packs. I think it's electric engines, and what else is it? Gee, it's eluding me. Let's look to see. It should be in here somewhere. We're going to want, not that, it's going to be this guy. We're going to want this for the blue science packs. So let's put this as our next agenda, because that's going to get us, it's batteries. Why was I thinking electric? I got it. I want the electric, I know I want the electric motors. The electric motors are for the flying packs. That's what I'm thinking. It's for the robots. I always kind of put these all together in my head, because it's usually, I kind of do it all at that. It's all around the same time to me. The blue science packs and bots, I kind of throw them all up about the same point. You can wait for the blues a little bit if you want, and these. We don't really need to jump to that. We'll hum and haw. Let's just grab it now, and then we'll think about it. Anyways, kind of looking a little ugly until I get a radar dish in here, but really thank you for joining me. Yeah, I'm Nerd Dad, and I am